So something that many of you probably didn't know that I did when I was in high school, 11th grade, 12th grade, with a best friend of mine, Ed Thompson, we would go around Miami doing like Christian shows where we would do like concerts, magic shows, kind of quite the entertainer. Ed's gone on to become the president of LOGOI Ministries that's been responsible for impacting churches, 10,000s of churches and church leaders all throughout the world. I came across one of his blogs that was an encouragement to me in responding to Inauguration Day that I wanted to be able to share with you. So my friend was out at one of those 24-hour grocery stores at midnight getting what he needed. He had picked up the items and was headed to the checkout when he happened to notice a father and son. Now, everything seemed normal at first, but after closer observation, he discovered that the son had significant handicaps that required constant attention and care. Ed suspected that the father was probably out shopping with his son late at night to avoid the crowds, but he couldn't help but observe from a distance. Their walk down the grocery aisle was very, very slow. Every few steps, the father would stop and adjust his son's position so they could keep walking down the aisle. Every adjustment that was made, he would gently reposition his son and then smile. Then they would move slowly forward again. Ed was amazed at the father's tenderness and patience. He suspected that the last thing that they were concerned about was the inauguration. Now, certainly, decisions made by government officials could impact their lives. Regardless, the father seemed committed to tenderly care for his son, no matter what comes out of Washington or anywhere else for that matter. As Ed continued to observe, he couldn't help but be reminded of our Heavenly Father's love. Look, we often feel so spiritually handicapped and lost ourselves and in constant need of readjustments. You would think that after all that, the Heavenly Father would get so exasperated and frustrated and worn out from caring for all of us. But he isn't. As a matter of fact, 1 John chapter 3 reminds us, "See how very much our Father loves us, for he calls us his children, and that is what we are." Okay, look, the presidential inauguration is this week, at the end of this week. And to say the least, it's going to be very interesting. But our hope, our trust, our confidence is not in governments. It's not in presidential candidates or presidents. Our hope and our trust is in our Heavenly Father. And just like the son being tenderly led through the grocery store by a patient, loving father, you and I have a loving Heavenly Father who leads us through the grocery aisles of life, who is the kind of God who is one of compassion and mercy, who is slow to get angry and filled with unfailing love and faithfulness. So, inaugurations, they will come and go to the end of the age, but God's faithful love will last forever. That love of God is our solid bedrock foundation, no matter the circumstances. But as followers of Jesus Christ, the King who is still on the throne, our choice is clear. Whether we voted for the president or not, our call is to now pray for him and his cabinet. I mean, after all, can we afford not to pray?